It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in.
Welby Accely, first generation Haitian American. I'm known for flipping a lot of houses and buying rentals and teaching the community on how to financially find freedom through real estate. And that's it. That's about it, you know.
Definitely. So Welby, something that if for those of you who don't follow Welby, is at my best 197, and he drops a lot of videos with gems and different tips. And something that Welby talks about a lot is the fact that people are buying properties at the wrong prices, and walking in with no equity and things of that nature. So Welby, can you talk more about why it's important for people to buy correctly?
Buying correctly is the foundation of your deal. So that old saying that when people say you make your money on the buy, a lot of times people don't understand that concept because most people are thinking about the end result as far as the sale, or even maybe the property being cash flowing as far as rentals. So people don't understand that. And I used to be that same person that my focus was acquiring a property, and then especially with me flipping, I'll make all this money at the end of the renovating of the property to sell, and I'll make a bunch of money. But years later, the understanding of buying right, I started understanding the importance that if you purchase the property for whatever the ultimate goal is for that property, when I would purchase the property correctly, and I would understand what my intentions are, that put me in the best position possible to win. That put me in the best position possible. So I give us an example. I've been in the business since 2004, and I started flipping not too long after that. If I was buying a flip, I would be purchasing the flip, but then I don't know why I paid the price that I paid for that property. I didn't understand what it was going to cost me to rehab the property. I didn't understand all the other different information in terms of what the expenses would be, the carrying costs, paying the realtors, attorneys, closing costs, and things of that nature. So then what would end up happening is upon the completion of the property, and at that time, it would take me months to complete a property. When I would then put the property in the market to sell, I would then realize I'm underwater. Or by the time the property would sell, I'm not going to make any money. Everybody else made money. Or in some situations, I ended up losing the property. That would be the same situation that would have happened in regards to me wanting to be a landlord and having tenants. I didn't buy the property correctly. I didn't understand why I was buying the property correctly. I didn't understand what was cash flow. I didn't understand what expenses were in relations to cash flow, et cetera, et cetera. So that's when I start realizing and understanding the concept of you make your money on the buy. When you buy correctly, you put yourself in the best position possible to win with that property.
Definitely. And so let's say, you have a new investor, someone who's not that experienced, and they're looking at deals, they're on the MLS, and they want to buy, let's say they want to buy and hold for this example. Like, how are they supposed to be looking at these deals? Like, how are they supposed to know, like, all right, I'm buying too high if it's this price? How do they know that something like that?
Well, first thing is that all of that is applied to the market that you're in, because every market is is different. So certain ways of approaching an investment situation, even though the basis of doing business in real estate is the same thing throughout the country, the way that you will apply it has to be adapted to the environment that you're investing in. So if you want to take an example of my market, I'm investing in Connecticut. I own a lot of rental properties in Connecticut. So the first thing that I did is I studied the market in the area that I'm investing in. And then I studied what would be, whenever I'm buying a property as an investor, you have to look at you have to look at real estate in a different set of eyes as would maybe a retail buyer would look at it. So anytime I'm looking at an investment property or a rental property, I'm looking at distressed and or underperforming properties. So sometimes I can get them both in the same situation, that I'm buying a distressed property that's underperforming, or I'm looking to buy a property that's distressed or it's underperforming. So when I understand that portion of the fact that I'm buying a property distressed or underperforming, I want to look at how I can add value to that property. So that's the reason why I'm looking at these properties that are in those type of conditions, because I want to be able to add value to that property so that the property, one, increases in value, and then two, if it's underperforming, that more than likely than not means that the property is probably renting for far below what market rents are. So when I understand that, then I start to try to determine what are the sales prices in that area. Then I try to determine what is it that I could get this property running up to its best performance level, how much I can maximize my rentals. Then what I'll do is I'll multiply that times how many units are in the building. So I focus on buying 3 units or more, 4 units or more, 3 units or more, like 5, 6, 8 unit buildings. Based off of that, I do my calculation. If I buy the property at X amount of price, determine if I'm putting 20% down or if I'm buying it with all cash with an expectation of renovating, mortgaging the property to get all my money back, which we could talk about later. How much is my expense going to be to how much the property is cash flowing? Minus that the balance of that's left, that's my net profits that I'm generating. And if it hits the target that I'm looking for, then I buy the property. I look for a deal for that.
Love it. Love it. So Devontae has a question. He said, what resources do you use to research the market?
The resources I use as a realtor. With all of the students that I have, I stress with the students that I have to stop trying to do everything on your own. Allow the people that are the subject matter experts or the people that essentially work for you as an investor to do the job for you. So most people or most new investors that are coming into business, they're looking to try and do everything. They want to wear all the hats. So they want to be the person that's trying to determine what their mortgage is going to be. They want to determine what the market is. They want to determine how much they could sell the property for, what the values are. I don't do anything like that. So any environment that I'm looking to invest in, I focus on finding the people that are experts in that area. So what I'll do is go and look for the local realtors in that area that understands that market in that area. I have the same question that he just asked, the same question I would ask. They understand that market, they're going to give me the numbers. I'll have 2 or 3 different realtors in the same market that I can cross-reference with what's representing to me. So then I could, over time, start getting an understanding of that market and how much that market, what's that market doing as far as values and different things like that. So I let the realtors do the job for me. And then based off of the initial information that's presented to me, I could then take the formulas that I understand and know and apply that so I could determine what my offers are going to be on the property, or if it's a property I'm even going to look into to continue moving forward to see if it's a good deal for me to do or not.
Definitely. And what I've noticed, of course, for a long time, but especially now, you have a formula. You have something very specific that you do. And a lot of people, it's the contrary. They're just buying anything, buying everything without any analysis. And these are the people who lose their shirt when tough times come. So I want everyone who's like either watching the replay or listening right now to really understand, like, you have to have a formula. You have to have a specific way you're going to go about each step in this process, or else, like, you're not going to be in a favorable position, as time goes on. All right, we have a question from Jasmine. She said, I'm graduating from law school and have a lot of student loans. Any creative ideas on getting financing? But despite that, I've worked 2 part-time jobs the past year and prayerfully start a full-time position in June.
When she say financing, I'm assuming she's talking about real estate. Is that what she's talking about?
Yeah, real estate. Yeah.
A creative way of getting financing. Well, the question is financing to do what? Because and it's not Jasmine's fault, but a lot of times it's unfortunate that when questions are being put out there because of the way the masses with social media and the way things are put out, people lead with the wrong questions. So the real question should be, what is your intentions? What are you looking to do? Are you talking about as an investor? Or are you talking about looking to get a mortgage as a property for yourself that you're looking to live in? So that's really the question that Jasmine should be asking initially, and then we can go from there.
Got it. So she said, like, besides a mortgage with the bank, maybe seller financing, I'm looking to invest in a condo or multifamily to start out.
So the next question is, if she's looking to invest in the condo or multifamily to start out, as far as her living there, or is she going to be renting it out for a business?
Another good question. Let us know, Jasmine. It's good follow-ups. Let's see. She said living there.
Well, so now that's a different situation now, because now when you're going to be looking at a property to be living in, then now all of your student loans, in addition to your employment, is going to be looked at to see your qualifications. Now, because you have student loans, everything is going to be based off your debt to income ratio. So the best thing that I would suggest that you do, which is, once again, you will have people that are experts in those fields. You need to go and talk to a mortgage broker or a bank, present to them your situation. What they'll do is they'll pull your credit report to see what your credit is, outline all your student loans, and then tell you, hey, Jasmine, you'd be qualified for this amount if you buy a property within these criteria. Or they could potentially tell you, well, you know what, because of X, Y, Z, you won't be able to do this for X amount of time, come back then. You know, the point of my response is that at least you have an answer. You know, right now, at least you have an answer. Now, to flip it now, if she was talking about utilizing to do it as an investment property for her to live in, there's given the fact it's an investment property, 75, well, and if it would be a multi-unit, 75% of what that property produces in terms of income would be added to your income, so to help you qualify to be able to purchase that property. So you actually would be able to buy more because you're buying an investment multi-unit with your income, because they add them two together with 75% of what that building is producing. And that would put you in an even better position to be qualified to buy.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button, and to visit us at blackrealestatedialogue.com.